Are there any gay hockey players?
None that have said it publicly.
This is such a bad idea. What this?
It's the Canadian series that has sparked conversations about what it means to be gay in professional sports. Heated Rivalry tells the story of two rival hockey players who fall in love, and for some viewers, it's been much more than just entertainment. It's been a mirror.
We want you to introduce you to Matt Kenny, who played competitive hockey while growing up in Ontario. He also had a secret relationship with another player. Now, after watching Heated Rivalry, Matt took to Instagram to tell his own story. It's a post that has now been viewed more than 4 million times, and Matt joins us now. Matt, thank you so much for joining us here on The Morning Show. I was one who saw your post. I'm like, we got to get Matt on the show. We got to talk to Matt. So thank you for joining us. And now, if you don't mind, can we go back to when you first watched the show? I think you had mentioned it was Christmas Eve, in and around that time, and you had a very intense emotional reaction to it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. That was absolutely correct. So watching the show, when I hit play, it within 15 to 20 minutes, it didn't feel like fiction to me. What was kind of playing out on the screen was like holding a mirror to my own life and what I had endured and experienced in a relationship with another player for the better part of a year. You know, the secrecy and the shame and the love and the fear, and knowing that if anyone ever found out that it would ruin lives, it could ruin any future in hockey. So I think, you know, my body reacted before my mind could stop it, and I had a panic attack and couldn't breathe. It lasted like 5 days. So it kind of felt, the best way to put it is, it felt like my body was remembering something that my brain couldn't catch up with. And it forced me to confront just how much of myself I had buried to, you know, survive, not only in hockey, but just the world.
Yeah, so the series, it obviously explores the psychological cost, as you've just detailed there, I think, Matt, quite nicely, about being in the closet while playing sports. So is what you've seen from Heated Rivalry, is it a pretty accurate portrayal?
Yeah, I think it's accurate. I think some of the conversations you're hearing are that it's considered fiction. And like, of course it is. It's a TV show. So everybody's experience is slightly different. What really I think people are resonating with, though, is the overall feeling of how much you have to hide, and that, you know, people that haven't been in that situation don't realize that being in the closet is a full-time 24/7 job. We ask our athletes to compete at the highest levels and asking them to, you know, win cups and medals and compete for national pride. And then we turn around and say, you know, but don't tell us if you're struggling and don't let us see you crack. So it goes beyond being gay, in my opinion. It kind of, we need to create environments where teammates and men in specific feel safe kind of raising their hand and saying, I'm not feeling okay, without fear of being considered weak. And I think what this show did was show that real emotional reaction of two men trying to figure out how to exist in this hyper-masculine environment and yet still, you know, have this tender soft side as well.
I'm curious the messages you've received since you shared your stories after watching Heated Rivalry. You posted, you heard from so many people, closeted athletes, parents, partners, celebrities like Selma Blair and Sophia Bush. You were on the receiving end of all these messages. What were you hearing from people?
It was the full spectrum of things. I guess the best way to put it is that the messages confirmed to me, and hopefully to people out there, that these people are real. They exist. Some of the names would be names that every person listening or watching would know. So it's interesting. It really hit me that, you know, my inbox is stranger on the internet. That was a safer place for some of these people to bring their truth than, let's say, like the locker room or their teams or their families. It showed me how many people really do think that they are the only ones, and that isolation that takes hold. And it's kind of what made me realize that I couldn't stay quiet anymore. You know, I don't have a professional sports career or sponsorships to lose. So I knew that I could kind of turn the volume up and be the person that maybe, you know, takes the arrows that might come from having these difficult public conversations. But they're out there, they're in my inbox, and people are, whether you want to believe they exist or not, they do.
Matt, I know you've said previously that athletes shouldn't be asked to be brave enough to come out until sports are ready to hold them. And Gary Bettman, the NHL commissioner, he recently said that he binged Heated Rivalry and that it was a wonderful story. But Does that translate, do you think, into a safe space for out athletes or hockey players? And what would it take for us to get to that point, do you think?
It does not. It's lip service, and that's great. And happy that Gary's bringing awareness to it for sure. But it's not safe for players to come out. Look at any player that's come out within a couple of years. They've either retired or been traded. And I get my message is simple. These players exist. Gay hockey players aren't new. I've been around for a while. So the NHL's tagline is hockey is for everyone. And I think this is the perfect time for them to actually walk that walk. I would ask leadership to just start with a message, tell players they're allowed to step on the ice as they are, but then make sure the space and the environment is safe for them to do so. That's the issue we're facing now. Is sure, you want people to be their authentic self, but the environment surrounding them isn't safe or supportive. If Gary and the NHL governors want to create the best hockey league in the world, that means having the best hockey players playing on the teams. And statistically, that means that some of them are gay. I also think it's not just the right thing to do, it's also a smart business thing to do. Look at people are paying attention to hockey, some of them for the first time, and new fans are going to buy tickets, seats are going to fill, sponsors and incremental revenues are going to pour in. So I would just say to Gary and the league, don't be performative. This is a time to be brave, bring diverse voices to the table. Call me. I would love to chat with you about it, because this could be a historic moment for this league if they can be brave enough to meet it head on.
As my daughter said the other day, this is the gift that hockey never even knew it needed. We've started a very important conversation, and allies are coming out of the woodwork, and this is the direction we need to go. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.